I think I totally agree about like the educational system being a bit like old school for what we have now, and people's needs and interests. Um, and I think this whole thing about play is also like a challenge for us humans, because we've been indoctrinated to kind of be, okay, I need to work, I have my job, I have my this. And I think this whole COVID thing is also making us realize that when we kind of take everything away from our life that was kind of bringing meaning to our lives, being going to a concert, to a theater play, I know a lot of people that are having these like, existential crisis of like, okay, what am I doing with my life? Because we realize that a lot of these people that are doing jobs in like things that are more like marketing or business or whatever, and they are realizing like, oh my god, what am I doing with my time? Because we are realizing that we actually spend 90% of our waking life um, doing something that probably is not of interest for us and for the world. So I do think there is a shift coming from that as well. And I do.
It's already happening. I'm going to borrow from an author that I love called Dan Pink, and a book I really recommend is The Future Belongs to Right-Hand Side Thinkers. Okay, so I'm being very simplistic when I talk about the left and the right-hand side of the brain, but the right-hand side is the one where you have flow, you have no sense of time. It's where the creative stuff comes. And he talks, there's one paragraph in the book which I absolutely adore, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he does say the past belongs to the number crunchers, the accountants, the money movers, right? The future belongs to the pattern makers, the empathizers, the poets, the artists. Now, obviously, I'm going to be slightly biased about all of this, but the point that he does make, and he uses these two phrases, which I use all the time now, high concept and high touch. The future is about these two things. So high concept is, it's about, actually, I'm probably getting them the wrong way around, but it's about empathy. It's about storytelling. It's about meaning. It's about play. It's about symphony. So in other words, it's about the best things, the best of what makes us human. And that doesn't stop at the door when you go to work. That you bring that into work. And certainly for me, I've always said to my son, I honestly, really, genuinely don't care what you do to put bread on the table. But what I really wish for you is that when you go to work in the morning, it's not like going to work, right? Because you will work harder, you will do more. And I think, again, as you've just said, the last 6 months, an awful lot of people are thinking, actually, is this really what I want to do with the rest of my life? And do I really want to be on this hamster wheel? No, I don't. And then it's taking that risk. And I think it's been amazing that the number of new internet businesses, and people are doing well. And obviously it's always a struggle when you start, but it's about finding that niche, because invariably we are all individuals. We all have unique selling points, and you just have to find out what your niche is and go and fill it. And all of a sudden you can make bread for the table and you have meaning and it makes you happy. And I'm making it sound so simple because it's not that simple, but I hope that is the future, because in a future where nobody is born wanting to go and work in a factory on a conveyor belt. That is, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And if we have machines and we have robots and we have the technology to do that, humans will be liberated to do other things. And everyone will say, yeah, but how are they going to make a living? We will find other ways that we haven't done before. We might need universal basic income, but okay, but you will still be able to go and do other things and take care of the planet, take care of each other. And yes, I'm now in my utopian mode, but I cannot see any other type of future, because the way that we've done it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked, and we can see that. We've done the experiment. You can't have eternal growth. It doesn't exist. This idea that it's just, it's unsustainable. So I'm very excited about the future. And what's lovely about having talks like this and presenting this to other people is that the penny drops with others, and they go, because I've had this so many times recently. People go, they send me a message and they went, thank you for giving me permission. I just needed to hear somebody give me permission, and then they're off. And so it's a real privilege to be able to do that.
Thank you so much for that, Jasmine. I mean, this has been a really, really nice conversation. I think this last bit, I mean, there is a book probably you know, called Utopia for Realists.
Oh yeah, I've got it. It's on my it's on my pile to read.
And it does summarize all of this. I mean, the book is a few years old now. He actually has a new book called Humankind that just came out this summer. I finished reading it not a long time ago. And it does, what you said does summarize that book. And it does summarize the fact that, you know, we need to be hopeful about
Yes.
the future, and we cannot just become cynics and like think, oh no, there is no solution, because I agree with you that, you know, that energy is changing, and there is like this feeling of awakening, I think, happening all over the world. And in a way, I mean, COVID is a horrible thing that happened to us, but I do try and look at the positive sides of this. And the more conversations I have with people about this, the more I understand that there is really this like collective awakening, and we're all like thinking about ways to move forward. And just before we finish, I wanted to ask you one more question about like what is there for you in terms of like coming work that is coming up soon, and where can we see it, and if there is anything you can share with us about it.
I can't be. There is quite a lot coming up, but I will be showing in London next year. So there will be group exhibitions, and hoping to have a solo show as well next year. And there is some work internationally. I'm sorry, I'm being all cagey about it, but I can't. So yeah, so there will be lots of new work. So the best thing to do with me really is to, you can always have a look on Instagram. I'm forever kind of keeping people up to date with things like this. Lots of new collaboration, and yeah, I will be looking at new technologies as well. So just keep up. I'm sorry, I'm being a bit cagey about things. Just keep up to date with what I'm doing, and it's very exciting. I can tell that next year is going to be a year of immense change, not just for me, but for an awful lot of people. Because that's the thing, you come out of hibernation like this, and you think, right, ready to go. What is it I need to do? So best thing with me is always to just look on Instagram with me now. It's pretty much, I don't really use any of the other platforms, but I do keep people updated on that.
Okay,